Syrian authorities have expressed concern over the gross worsening violence against women in the war-torn country. King Charles III becomes Britain's new leader after the death of her mother, Queen Elizabeth II, at age 96. And the Gambia Transport Union plans to hold a sit-down strike on Monday. Stay tuned for the details. Well, these and more coming ahead in this week. Many thanks for joining us. This is Eyeafrica TV and I am Amadou Kante, and now the news in detail. We begin in Syria, where experts have expressed concern over the increase in worsening violence against women amid years of civil war and a deepening economic crisis through the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. An initiative called One Project in the capital Damascus is trying to provide a solution to the challenges against women. The influence of self-defense training appears to have spread among women in the capital. Some women said they are motivated to train due to their exposure to violence. Here's more details of that in this report.
Amid years of conflict, many Syrian women have gained interest in the art of self-defense. In 2010, world kickboxing champion Yahya Jammeh set up the Izzati Foundation.
The Izzati project started from friends and girls I know asking me what to do in certain situations. I could tell them, but it's not a process of memorizing techniques. Rather, it's about asking if one is able to remember the required moves, if their body helps, and if they have enough courage. Since 2007 to 2009, my efforts have focused on creating a training methodology suitable for the Middle East region.
Izzati project is not only a self-defense training program, but it is also an educational which aims to raise awareness among women legally and physically and motivate them to face the hard situations.
My mission is to educate women about the matter, the legacy of self-defense, how Syrian laws deal with it, and the procedures needed to protect rights. The goal and message of Izzati are to underscore that women are effective and functional in society.
Yahya Jammeh seeks to include the children and the elderly in the self-defense training program. In addition, its purposes of rehabilitation and motivation. She says the pride of society is the dignity of individuals.
Now to Europe and in England, of course, to be precise, where Queen Elizabeth II passed away on Thursday at age 96. She is the longest-serving monarch and head of state in British history. She served as the Queen for 70 years. Royal family communication said she died peacefully in Balmoral in Scotland. Her son Charles has been already named her successor as the king. Moses Mendy has the details in this report.
Queen Elizabeth II has been a towering presence and symbol of power and leadership in Britain and around the world for 70 years. But England has yesterday woken to the death of its longest-serving monarch and head of state. She died at Balmoral Castle, her holiday home in Scotland, after concerns about her deteriorated health were noted. Her family was present. It's a time of deep sadness for the nation and the royal family. In a tweet yesterday, her son Charles, who is now King Charles III, described the passing of his mother as a moment of the greatest sadness for him and the royal family. Under the Queen's auspices, Britain grew into a different country to the one she took over as Queen many decades ago. In that time, she appointed 15 prime ministers to head the UK government. Winston Churchill was her first appointed prime minister, and new prime minister Liz Truss is her final appointee. Liz Truss's appointment came shortly before the Queen's passing. Since Buckingham Palace announced the Queen's passing yesterday, condolences and tributes from across the world have been pouring in. President Joe Biden wrote on Twitter that the Queen was more than just a monarch, that she defined an era. He added that she was the first British monarch to whom people all around the world could feel personal and intimate connection. President Emmanuel Macron also wrote that the Queen embodied the British nation's continuity and unity for over 70 years, adding that he remembers her as a friend of France, a kind-hearted queen who has left a lasting impression on her country. UK's new Prime Minister Liz Truss tweeted that the Queen was the rock on which modern Britain was built and that the country has grown and flourished under her reign. The Queen was the head of the Commonwealth, a political association of 56 member states, the vast majority of which are former British colonies. She largely traveled the world, including countries such as Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Ghana, and the Gambia in 1961, 4 years after which Gambia gained independence. In mourning the Queen's passing, flags have been lowered to half-mast. They are to remain that way until the final day of the royal family's mourning. Gun salutes have also taken place in tribute to the Queen in London. A round was fired in every 10 seconds to represent each year of Her Majesty's life. Moses Imendi, Eyeafrica News.
The world continued to mourn the death of Queen Elizabeth II after her passing on Thursday. Now, coming back home, a senior communication officer at the Ministry of Health has disclosed that the ministry did not place any payment during the process of the digital birth certificate registration as the first round of the nationwide registration concluded. Now, this came after speculation emerged that people will be requested to pay money to acquire or to secure the card when the free registration campaign is over. Now, debunking such claims, Jibril Gandobalde said if there should be any payment, the ministry will communicate to the public. Mariama Cham has the details.
The country's health ministry kick-started the issuance of Gambia's first ever digital birth and health insurance certificates. The nationwide exercise is running simultaneously in all regions across the country, with individuals accessing these documents on the spot if their application is accepted. Many believe that payment of $500 will be requested for one to have these documents if the 3 months free campaign is over. However, Jibril Gandobalde, Senior Communication Officer of the Ministry of Health, said the ministry is yet to come to that.
That have not yet been determined by the Ministry of Health, and we hope it will not be the case. These are rumors that are just being spread around by people, who are not within the Ministry of Health, that after the 3 months, people will be asked to pay. And some have even, went as far as, saying prices that they assume would be. But the ministry is yet to come to that. And we are concentrated on maximizing our number of people that we can register within these 3 months. And after that, we will determine how many % of the population actually is being registered. And if you don't have more than 50% of the population registered, you have to think about extending, the free campaign so that at least you can give everybody equal opportunity.
A well-developed and functioning civil registration system ensures the registration of all vital events, including births, marriages, and deaths, and issues relevant certificates as proof of such registration. Some applicants said the duration for the electronic birth registration is too short, considering the size of the population. However, Mr. Balde said the ministry may extend the duration depending on the number of people registered in the country.
Right now, they have just moved into LRR and NBR, North Bank region. So this is how we are progressing as of now. But in the combos, we are reminding everybody that we will be coming back for another round. So people should just be patient and know that even they miss the first chance to be registered, but we are coming back. So maybe the delayance is due to the high magnitude of the job, because remember, we are registering everybody in the country. The birth registration is for everybody. Even the child that is born today should be registered. And the man or woman, old woman who is 100 years or 50 or 75, they're all part of it.
Some requirements of the new birth certificates include you need to be born in the Gambia, then hold a birth certificate identity card, infant's welfare card for children, particularly those aged 0 to 17 years, accompanied by parents supporting documents. Any of these documents provided alongside parent supporting documents can be granted the new birth certificate and health insurance. Also, if the aforementioned documents are not available, then an attestation from the alcalde of your place of birth is allowed, among other requirements. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh.
Now, elsewhere in the continent, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, has said that millions of children and youth continue to drop out of school in several African countries, including Nigeria, where an estimated 20 million children are said to be out of school. The spokesman of Nigeria's Minister of Education has, however, disapproved of the UNESCO's statistics, saying it is unacceptable. Experts, on the other hand, said poverty and the government's failure to extend its free education program beyond primary and junior secondary school led to students pulling out of school. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Adama Umar lives in Abuja with her children who are not attending school.
Schools are expensive, and if you tell the schools to allow the children to continue attending while you save up their fees, they'll say no. I don't make enough money from my business, and the little I do make, I have to think of their feeding first. So I decided to just let them stay at home and not attend school.
UNESCO says an estimated 20 million children in Nigeria between the ages of 6 and 18 are out of school. Along with India and Pakistan, these are the highest figures globally. Security concerns, particularly in northern Nigeria, has been largely blamed for this. Over 1,000 students have been kidnapped by terrorists in the last 2 years alone. 11,000 schools have been closed within the same period over fears of more abductions. In addition, experts also say poverty and the government's failure to extend its free education program beyond primary and junior secondary school level have led to students pulling out of school.
It's a critical sector, but the government are not putting in as much as they're supposed to do into financing, most especially secondary education in Nigeria. Are we able to resolve issues around conflict, insecurity in these schools? Do we have enough classrooms, training materials for these children to actually stay and remain in school? These are things that we need to put in place.
Nigeria's government has already ordered the deployment of more security personnel to schools across the country to ensure that schools are protected from attack. The federal government says it is working towards doubling primary school enrollments from 46 to 90% and secondary school enrollments from 40 to 80% by 2030. It hopes to achieve this through its school feeding program, which provides 1 meal a day to public primary school students across the country, and that could see more children like Adama's going to school.
You are watching this week's news edition on Eyeafrica TV, and we are coming to you live from our studios in Banjul. And from the report there in Nigeria, we now take a break and come back shortly. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
As part of government's commitment towards universal health coverage and also digitize the civil registration and vital statistics systems in the country, the Ministry of Health and partners will embark on a mass birth registration campaign and enrollment for the National Health Insurance Scheme effective August 1st, 2022. Every individual born in the Gambia or by Gambian parents and residents of the Gambia are eligible to register during this important national exercise by providing the following documents: birth certificate, national ID card or passport, driver's license, voter's card, residence permit, that certificate of parent, infant welfare card, alcalde attestation. Rush now to register and encourage your family and friends to do so during this important campaign. For any information, call 1025. This campaign is supported by the government of the Gambia and partners.
Welcome back, and this is Eyeafrica TV, and once again, many thanks for joining us, and let's now look at the rest of the stories. Now, archaeologists from 8 countries are teaming up with UNESCO to explore the historic underwater site, which is likely home to hundreds of shipwrecks from various points in history. Now, the ambitious project is underway with researchers from several African and European countries exploring the silky banks aboard the new high-tech Alfred Marlin archaeological research vessel. Here's more details of that in this report.
Archaeologists from Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, France, Italy, Spain and Croatia are working with UNESCO to explore the historic underwater site. This unique site in the Mediterranean basin is home to hundreds of shipwrecks which belong to different historical eras.
The result of this mission is the discovery of 3 historical and archaeological sites, including the wreckage of a 74-meter vessel from the late 19th and early 20th century. This discovery was made at depths down to 90 meters.
We're using the latest robots for this underwater archaeological project. We're using methods of geophysical, prospecting, scanning, and magnetometry.
The 150-foot-long Alfred Merlin archaeological research vessel is part of France's scientific fleet. The high-tech ship is facilitating the search for shipwrecks dating from antiquity to World War II.
This ecological vessel was made to optimize fuel consumption to go further and faster. It uses the latest technology and equipment which make the work of underwater archaeologists and robots precise and more efficient for this mission.
Tunisia's culture minister explained that researchers want to know exactly what historic items are resting on the seafloor. However, she believes that making them accessible to the public is very challenging in the near future.
The excavation of the ships from the underwater site is technically very difficult and risky because the difference in temperature, pressure and environmental conditions could destroy the wreckage. Making an underwater museum is more realistic and feasible.
According to UNESCO, the ancient shipwrecks in the central Mediterranean Sea between Tunisia and Sicily are yielding secrets as the archaeological exploration project dives deeper. The archaeologists who have teamed up to explore the Skerki banks come from 8 countries that have ratified the 2001 UNESCO Convention on Protecting Underwater Cultural Heritage. Scientists say the long-lost underwater sites are fascinating.
And from the report there in Tunisia, let's come back home and report on transport-related matters, because the Gambia Transport Union says it will hold a sit-down strike throughout the country on Monday, 12th September 2022, until their demands are met. In an update on its Facebook page, the GTU indicates that the strike is influenced by the rise in fuel prices, high toll fees at the Senegambia Bridge, too many police checkpoints and expensive mandatory fines on the roads. Now, the transport union leadership has encouraged all commercial drivers, commercial transport owners and garage attendees across the country to sit at their homes until their demands are resolved. Meanwhile, following the announcement of the proposed driver strike, the Gambia Police Force also, in a statement via its Facebook page, said any driver who chooses to go on the proposed sit-down strike should park their vehicle at a private location. On the other hand, all commercial drivers who wish to continue performing their functions should not be obstructed. The police force also indicated that it is committed to providing security to those that are not part of the sit-down strike. Anyone found breaching the peace and security, trying to stop commercial drivers from plying the road, will be dealt with accordingly. Now, joining me on the line for an update on the drivers' planned strike on Monday is Omar Sisa, President of the Gambia Transport Union. Well, Omar, thank you very much for taking your time and speaking to Eyeafrica TV on this very important moment. Now, what is the latest development on your announced sit-down strike. Is the strike going ahead as planned as we speak?
Thank you, Mr. Kante, for having me. Our current development is we are preparing, we are engaging our people, we are discussing for our Monday proposed sit-down strike. Still is valid. Inshallah, we are very prepared. We are discussing with our members, our drivers, so that they can stay home until our demands are being fulfilled.
All right, you heard me there mention about the police statement, but before we talk about that, let me ask, has the Ministry of Transport or any government officials have reached out to you for a possible negotiation on this matter?
Yeah, yesterday my executive members have meeting with the Ministry of Transport regarding to this subject matter, but unfortunately they don't have a consensus on this subject matter. That's prompted the union to call a nationwide sit-down strike. We see the police press release. We expect that from police as far as the situation is concerned. But for us, we are not going to block any road. We are not going to intimidate anyone. We are not going to harass anyone. But we're going to stay at home. That is our constitutional mandate. That's our constitutional right. We own our vehicle. We feel the environment is suitable for us to work. We feel that the environment doesn't, level for us to work. So we prefer to stay home until our demands we put in table to be fulfilled.
All right. Now, what did you make of the statement from the police? Are you worried or concerned as the president of the Gambia Transport Union?
Can you come again?
Yeah. What did you make of the statement from the police? Are you worried or concerned as the president of the Transport Union?
I'm not worried. I'm not scared. I'm expecting what from them. But what most important, we are not going to, disturb anyone. We're going to stay at home. We are not working. Nobody can stop us from work. We are not working. Nobody can force it on us. We're going to park our vehicle until our demands are fulfilled. We can't sit down strike. We advise all drivers to stay at home until they hear from us. We are going to do that, inshallah, in God will.
All right. Now, you highlighted your reasons for calling for this sit-down strike, but did the recent incident between the police and your drivers at the Senegambia Bridge has any influence on your recent move to hold this sit-down strike on Monday?
It's part of it because I feel my people have been manipulated, my people have been harassed, they have been intimidated. So as a union, if you touch anyone, you touch all of us. Because one man's life matters. If you brutal anyone, you affect all of us. So my driver started, I feel they are maltreated. They are not, protected. Some people have been beaten. Some people have been arrested unlawfully. We think that's not perfect. So we engage the government. The outcome of the meeting was unsuitable. It's very unprofessional. We are not happy with it. So we feel as a union, we need to protect the right of any member. So that's why we call it proposed strike now until government comes to our aid and meet our demands.
All right. I know before we probably will summarize this in the local language also, but on a final note, President, we understand also the government are initiating plans to make sure they would provide vehicles to mitigate the impact of your strike should it go ahead, as you mentioned. Do you think your strike would have any impact if that happens?
Let me tell you, the commercial transport is contributing at 90% in our operational transport aspect. So if we are counting, we are not counting, GTSC buses. We know it's part of the government entity, we are not counting them. We are talking about people. Inshallah, on Monday, we're going to price it because we know our people are going to stay home. Because we speak behalf of our members. So our members decide, request us so that we can call for sit-down as a leader. No, we do so, they're going to follow up. Whether GTSC run or not, that is not our business. But we know 33 bus or 34 bus cannot fulfill the demand. That cannot be possible. So what most important, what we are demanding is very valid point. We are not fighting government. We are demanding our right. Look at the cost of the fuel. Look at the cost of Senegal Bridge. Look at the police brutality. Look at the issues. Look at the Senegal ISTP. Excel. You can count them. We are Gambia. We are part of the system. Our demands should be fulfilled. Our welfare need to be protected, and at the same time, we are part of the system. Government will respect. I know we are doing business, and we need to pay our families to the business. So we do our things. We are government bring 1,000 bucks, and our people are going to stay. Even one person, you're going to protect the guy until the end of the day.
All right. Usually we don't do this because, on such programs, because they newscast in English, but we want to take the opportunity and, discuss this in the local language as well. Well, President Omar Cissé, moom la ñoo wax right now, yow yaa jiite transport union bi, li fees ci réew mi depuis démba ba léegi mooy ne da ngeen nara banque seen loxo doo leen liggéey dooree ko altine di fukki fan ak ñaar ci weeri septembre ñu bëgg a xam rek ne pour ñuy seetaan ak Gambien si xam ndax jamono ji fi ngeen ko téye foofu ngeen ko téye alternate da ngeen fas yéene toog ci kër yi du ngeen génn liggéey mooy driver yi ci réew mi yi nga xamante ne yow yaa leen jiite.
waaw jërëjëf jamono bi lu xew mooy ñu ngi waxtaan ak driver yi ñu ngi engage ñu ngi waxtaan ñëpp pare nañ pour monde ñu leen toog seen kër yi kenn du xel liggéey lu ñoo teg ci taabal bi government respect ko defal ñu ko. su développement defaluñ ko kon asana kon ni nga ko waxee fala bi fala nekk incha allah nothing can change that.
ok fu mu nekk nii kon wax ngeen seen li tax ngeen bugg a dem strike bugga naa nga fàttali ñu lan moo tax ngeen bugg a bañ a dem liggéey alternate lan moo ko waral ak lan ngeen ci xaar because da ngeen wax ne am ngeen li ngeen di séntu ci nguur bu ñu ko defut alternate doo leen liggéey lan exactly ngeen sàkku ci nguur gi te ngeen bugg a ñu def ko wala ñu nangul leen ko balaa alternate.
ñëpp xam na ni current price of the pump price in this country fuel ñu muy jël ñëpp xam nañ ko ñun attanu loolu léegi fuel dafa seer boo xam ne ne mënuñ koo jënd di ko liggéey di ci am dara so loolu mënuñ ko loolu demande na pour ñu wàññi fuel bi at the same time the cost of the Senegambia bridge boo xam ne dañ ko may nguur Gambia dañ ko may nguur gi is grand bi 400 years dañ ko expect nguur wàññi ko mënuñ expect lu ñoo fay si ferry bi ñu ko ne di waxee loolu si bridge bi loolu mënuñ ko at the same time police brutality taxaw si kali police yëpp trafic police la léegi driver bu ngis daal sa kaw nangu sa xaalis teg la loo xam ne ni du teg du yoon loolu mënuñ koo nangu at the same time driver lancing yoo xam ne nii luwal dafa ne 3 years la war a nekka government di ko jox nit ñi every 3 months 7 months 9 months soo dafa war a jee and suñu IST xaalis bu joxoon nguur gi suñu diggante Gambia ak Sénégal xaalis boobu nguur ñu ko amee bele jotuñ ko problème yi bari nañ bi yëpp dina ko teg tabal government dina ko fulfil oo dunde liggéey ñi nga ñun ci réew mi la mbokk lu ñoo demande ni su right la su welfare la ñun government respect la government waruñ ko forcer si loolu sax soo su bañee nag soo ñu environment fii la ne is not conducive mënuñ ci nekk di liggéey jamono bi moo tax ñu fas yéene toog suñu kër on Monday bii balaa government di ñu uy
ok léegi ci nguur gi mooy kilifa yi bi ngeen déclaré ne da ngeen bugg a toog alternate doo leen liggéey ndax depuis boobu ba léegi am nañ ndax ministre bu transport wala benn kilifa bu nekk ci nguur gi ñëw na pour wax ak yéen jéem a seet pour ndax mun ngeen régler situation bi balaa alternate wala jotu leen wax ak kenn lan mooy ci lu bees diggante yéen ak nguur gi.
non balaa ñu ko war a suma jamono suma executive bi ma dem am na meeting ak ministre of transport ba meeting bi jëli si loo xam ne ni mun na koo jox si njaboot bi meeting bi daanaka bariwul solo because lu ñu wax ne mooy lu ñoo demande government bu ñu wàññi bridge bi at the same time mbiri suñ paas bi dina ko waxtaan président bi ñun mbiri paas a waatuñ ko parce que xam na askan mu ngi sono askan amuñ xaalis soo la mu ko teg beneen xaalis beneen coono mënuñ ko luy fukk ak benn bi na nguur wàññi fuel bi ñu am jaama askan bi am jaama réew den kanam soo ba léegi nguur oo ñu am som individu bu ñu kool parce que suñu demande suñu position yi mel ni yéen government lu ñu doon teg ci sama dañ ko jox oo ñun duñ ko ñëw leen si situation bi.
all right finally rek Omar fu mu nekk nii lan ngay dénku sa njaboot bi mooy driver yi parce que yow yaa leen jiite te tamit am nañu ragal sax xëy na du ñoom ñëpp ñoom ñooy bokk ci strike bi police bi wax na ko ñi nga xamante ne bokkuñ ci te ñu bugg a tegu ci tali bi liggéey bugguñ kenn mu tere leen liggéey bu boobaa bu fekkee loolu am na ñoom dañooy taxaw am taxawaay bu mot sëkk ku ko def ñu am liñ jëflante ak ñoom ci loolu lan ngay wax ci loolu ak lan ngay yedd sa njaboot bi pour plan yi ngeen am bañ a dem liggéey Monday incha allah ci tënk rek.
lu may wax suma njaboot bi ne ñoom a sant pour ma diglaa na ko ñu xam naa pare nañ pour taxaw ak man ku nekk Monday toogal sa kër bàyyi leen jamono si kër gi toog laa seen njaboot bi ngeen dégg si ñun bugguñ kenn xatal kenn bugguñ kenn bloqué kenn waaye incha allah nan def nan si support each other nan guide each other nan sollicite each other incha allah ngeen ko def ma leen ñaan ne Monday ku nekk na toog këram ba ñu dégg exécutif ne ngeen demeen daw no incha allah su góor gu dellu gannaaw duñ si délégation su ne xeer la na ku nekk toog këram bañ a xaas kenn ba provoqué kenn incha allah su ne xeer la.
all right jërëjëf Omar Cissé moo ñu fàttali moom mooy président bu Gambia Transport Union ñu ngi ko gërëm bu baax di la sant ci kaddu yi ak leeral yi nga indi ci situation bi fu mu toll thank you very much. All right, kooku nekkoon Omar Cissé président of the Gambia Transport Union moo ñu leen doon waxal noonu li aju si strike si daan strike buñ fas yéene def ni ki gannaaw ëllëg. Well, viewers, does of course bring us to the end of this news edition, and we were talking there to the president of the Gambia Transport Union on their proposed sit-down strikes slated for Monday, the 12th of September 2022. But for more details on this and other stories, you can visit on our website on Eyeafrica.tv. But for now, many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Thanks for watching, and do have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.